All right, we're back. What has happened in the meantime? Well, we've gone ahead and let our potatoes sit, and I cannot emphasize enough that if those potatoes are still hard, when every single one, you might end up cooking 3 of them, they're fine, and a 4th one, you're gonna have to cook a little bit longer, but they have to give just a little bit. They cannot be hard. You keep cooking them till they give just a little bit, and then you let them go ahead and stand for 5 to 10 minutes. They will still be hot, but you need to let them stand for 5 to 10 minutes, and I've done that. I also have gone ahead and cooked the bacon. I know this is so weird. That's what the bacon looks like. I'm gonna pull off the paper towel. It's cooked for the 2 full minutes. It doesn't look kind of like the regular browning that happens because it's a different type of a heat, but the bacon's all the way cooked. You can see along the edges where it has browned a little bit, and it's just finishing its standing time right now. I'm gonna place it to the side, okay? And we are gonna go on to step number 13, which is to put the potatoes down and to slice them off. So I'm being a little bit careful with them because they are hot potatoes and you don't want to be taking and tossing them around because you'll probably break them and they will hurt when you go to touch them. I'm just giving myself a little bit of a help by unwrapping them all. And oh, look at this one right here. I don't know if you can tell. This one right here is a little bit overcooked compared to maybe this one right here. It's all kind of wrinkly, and that's because the microwave has a hard time cooking evenly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just place these all to the side, and I'm in one at a time. I'm going to do step number 13. I'm gonna use a hot pad to help myself out, and I'm gonna take this potato. It wants to lay this way, not like that. Get it where it wants to lay, and then roll it up a quarter. As you take and slice off, can you see how much I'm slicing off? Just slice off the top, almost like a lid. I'm using my serrated knife because at this point, my potato is very tender. If you're not careful when you go to cut through this far side, you're gonna go ahead and tear the skin, which I don't want to do. All right, looks like I didn't quite cut all the way through there. Slice that through, and the serrated knife is a great tool to help me out to do that. I'm gonna do this quickly to all of them, just so I can let them cool down just a little bit so I can work with them a little better. You're gonna find this out, okay? And I'm making it, can you see it's kind of like a little canoe? Yeah, sometimes people call these potato boats. Makes certain sense. It wants to lay flat. I roll it up on its side, a quarter side. If you don't roll it, then it's gonna roll over after you've gone ahead and cooked. And I'm just kind of sawing back and forth, and then I'm using the tip to go ahead and cut it loose. And I'm thinking I'm going right there. This is a weird shaped potato. Maybe you'll get one like this too. Again, I'm probably cutting off the top, maybe 1/3, so that I have most of it down below, but not all of it. All right, at this point, I'm gonna take each one of these potatoes, and I'm gonna start with my tops, and I'm just gonna scoop this potato out, and I'm gonna put it into what ends up being our serving bowl. And I'm gonna use my spoon just in a back and forth. If I were like a master carver, if I made things out of marble and rock, I'm just taking and scraping that off. Scraping it off, and then this is just garbage. These again are the tops that I've cut out. But I don't wanna throw that potato away because that's gonna be part of my mashed potatoes. Okay? And my 3rd one, can you see that my hot pad's getting dirty? That's okay. In fact, I'd suggest that you have a hot pad for every single person, and they're each are gonna carve out their own, cut their own lid off, and carve out their own. That way, if somebody does it wrong, you don't end up with their bad product. You're gonna do it perfect. Okay, go ahead and clean that out. Those are my 4 lids. Now these are the real ones. I'm gonna place this in here and watch how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna carve just a little bit, and then I can pull it out. If you end up doing this, if you end up trying to take too much potato out at the same time, then you're gonna end up with a torn skin. And we're trying to keep the skin all in place. The skin of a potato, actually, a lot of people don't like it. Maybe they eat the inside of their baked potato and leave the skin on their plate. Are you like that? Are you a skin lover? But the skin is actually a pretty healthy thing to eat. It contains a lot of fiber that we otherwise would throw away, and most Americans are low on fiber. Okay, I'm just trying to carve out the inside, and can you see that I'm leaving? Can you see how much I'm leaving of the potato? That much of the potato as well as the skin. I'm not trying to get rid of all the potato, I'm just leaving some. Anyway, most Americans don't get enough fiber in their diets, and because of that, one of our leading diseases that kills us is colon cancer. And what's happening is our food is not able to travel through our intestines very easily. A lot of Americans will end up with problems with constipation as well, and that has its own issues. Not that I'm asking who's been constipated before. I am not. I'm just carefully taking and digging out as much as I can without removing. About 1/4 of an inch is what I'm leaving in there. So again, same kind of thing. You can see I'm leaving a lot of the baked potato in the inside of the skin. And I'm starting out by just doing a scoop on one side, scoop on the other, scoop on one side, scoop on the other. And we're going to go ahead and get out as much as we can. Gently, gently, gently. Gently, gently. Oops, try not to make a mess of your hot pad. But I don't want to put a hole into that potato. I don't. I'm just going to gently scoop just a little bit, just shaving it off. Shaving it off. And my last one real quick. I'm going to go ahead. And because I cooked it completely to the right stage when I had it in the microwave, where it gave just a little bit, the extra standing time has allowed this to become nice and soft on the inside. All right, here we go, last little bit. Be careful, don't be in such a hurry that you end up poking through the side. I don't want to see that. Okay, here we go. All right, again, I'm looking at like that 1/4 of an inch all the way around that outside edge. All right, now we're going to turn this part right here into mashed potatoes. And the way that I'm going to do that is first off adding a little bit of salt. My instructions tell me that I need 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to get out my salt container. I'm going to get out my 1/4 teaspoon, make sure it's the 1/4 of a teaspoon, and over a dirty bowl, I'm going to go ahead and put the salt in there, and then I'm going to level it off. I'm going to put in 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper, and I can use that straight edge in my can to help me level this one off. I sure wish the salt had one. Level it off, pop that in there. It says that I'm also going to be taking and adding the butter, and the butter will be pre-measured for you. And I'm doing a little bit of fudging because depending on the size of your potato, you might maybe want a little bit less or a little bit more. But this is going to be an average amount. And I'm going to move this to the side. I'm going to come over here, and I'm using my potato masher. This is the one that goes zigzag like this. This is a potato masher. You're also going to see a ricer, they call it. You are also going to be able just to use the backside of a fork if you especially had a smaller amount. But you can see how my wide bowl here is kind of a little bit helpful. And I'm just getting this all mashed up as best I can. And the butter's all getting melted in there because the potatoes are still hot. I'm getting the, kind of doing a mixing motion as well to get the pepper and the salt spread all the way around. And then I'm to the point of taking and adding in the milk. Now, students, do not, I repeat, do not just pour in all of that milk, because you're going to maybe end up with potato soup instead of mashed potatoes. I've given you plenty of milk if you have big potatoes, but it's a lot of milk if you have picked up small potatoes. So I'm going to, ooh, looks like I got some potatoes in there, a little wild and crazy. I'm going to measure out my milk, and on my instructions it says 1/4 of a cup, and your head chefs will come in flat surface, eye level. Your head chefs will come and pick this milk up, and I want to add maybe just half of this to here. All right, and then the potatoes will actually absorb that milk, and I think I actually have plenty with that. And they no longer look dry. And that is what I'm looking for. You'll feel it. Maybe you might want to take a little teaspoon of it and taste it and see what you think. If they add more, you know, you could. I'm going to put just maybe another little bit in there. But I'm not going to add all of that in there because that's going to be too much. Okay, after you've got the mashed potatoes ready, give it a little tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap, tap. And then I'm going to come back here to my potatoes and I'm going to fill them back up. I know, so weird. I take it out, I put it back in. Take it out, put it back in. Here's something that's kind of interesting. I told you previously that I really like these, and they're a special treat to my family. Whenever we get twice baked potatoes, it's for something special. Maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's a holiday. They take just a little bit extra time. In the oven, if you are going to be taking and baking a potato, do you know how long it takes to bake a potato in a regular oven? If you said 1 hour, you are right. It takes an hour to cook. It doesn't matter whether it's 1 potato or 10. It's going to take 1 hour at 400 degrees. Okay, I'm just going to take and kind of smush this now. It's going to be a little bit above the rim, kind of like some shakes, advertisement for a shake that I hear. And in the microwave, how fast did we do that? We cooked our potatoes in minutes, less than 10 minutes. So you can see microwaves are great for speeding things along. I got the last little bit. Let's go ahead and pop that on top of this guy right here. Then my instructions tell me I'm going to put them on a plate. I've got a large dinner plate right here. I'll go ahead and put these on here. And we're going to put them back in the microwave to heat them up and also melt some cheese. When you put your cheese on here, you're going to kind of shove it. Can I say that? Whoa. I'm shoving it a little bit into my baked potato, into the mashed potatoes so it stays on top. Maybe, I know I usually even just put a slice of cheese rather than the grated cheese on top. So we'll go ahead and put that on there. Then we're going to take our bacon. And the bacon I'm going to take, you can see it's kind of holding its shape. I'm going to cut these into some little pieces. I'm just going to use my kitchen shears to cut them. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just taking and kind of zigzagging little small pieces. I probably just need even 1 piece of bacon. And we can finish that right up real quick, little tiny pieces. And then we're going to take these pieces and do the same thing. We're going to, if you don't want it, you don't have to have bacon on it. Shove that in there. Shove it in there. This is called baked potato with the works, isn't it? Oh, maybe I do need a little bit more, so I'll steal some from that for the sake. But you could cut up your other bacon piece and put it in there. And then we're going to take these. Now watch this. This is just pretty. That's just fine. But watch what this green does. Do you sense it? All of a sudden, whoa. Whoa, you say, huh? Going ahead and give it a little bit of a personality that you didn't have before. I mean, it was fine before, but now this is where you're really getting some fine color in there. If you don't have time to melt your cheese, you don't have time. So if you hustle along, you'll get to this point where you're like this. I'll put it back into the microwave oven and microwave it for a minute or so until the cheese is all the way melted throughout, and then we're good to go. I'll give you one more shot of my finished product, and then, yeah, delish. I sure hope you enjoy these as much as I do. Yum, yum, yum. Twice baked potatoes that are rather than baked. They're microwaved. All right, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.